of the jungle, as old and as true as the sky. And the wolf that shall keep it may prosper, but the wolf who shall break it must die. As the creeper that girdles the tree trunk, the law runneth forward and back. For the strength of the pack is the wolf, and the strength of the wolf is the pack.
Oh, couldn't even contain the laughter as we were out there howling because we're excited. Our ACC Football Road Trip is now in Raleigh, North Carolina. You're taking a look at the beautiful Carter Finley Stadium. It won't host a game until week 2, but that'll be a big one against Notre Dame alongside the poet himself, Roddy Jones, and Eric McLean. I am Kelsey Riggs. Roddy here all day to spit bars for you guys. Just get ready as long as you give him something to memorize. Yep. He can lay it out. Yep. Fall camp, great to be here at NC State. It's the first part of the road trip for you guys. Roddy, what's good about fall camp for a player?
Oh, man. Well, first off, Kelsey, the pack attack is back.
Yes. Oh, here we go.
Yeah. Secondly, it's an opportunity to bond with your teammates. The distractions outside of football are gone. And so it gives you a chance to really form those bonds that are going to last you throughout the season. It's a time to get better. It's a time to win jobs. It's a time to focus on individual things that you want to improve. But that's about it, Emac, because the weather and the schedule is
not good, huh?
tough.
Yeah, it really is. And you know what is fascinating is your kind of objectives and viewpoint and vantage, it all changes as you grow and get older, right? I remember coming in as a freshman and you're like, this is awesome, this opportunity, I got to go. You're looking at the playbook, you're not doing anything but football. And then as you get more established, you become a starter, things of that nature, you're like, how can I take this play off? How can I
we don't
skip,
take plays off.
How can I skip this period?
Can we find an agreement?
Hey, scout team, I'm going to just hurt you if you don't go easy right. You know, things of that nature. And you know, honestly, what I found as an older guy is truly when you left that facility, unplugging, like totally not thinking, not looking, not talking football, and that really helped me get through it. So these guys are in what, week 2 here? I'm sure there's a little bit of unplugging going, but this is the greatest time. No school, all football, let's go to work.
And they got a lot of older guys who have been here even longer than you guys were back in school back in the day, because you get to run it back a few more times right now. But there is a lot to be excited about with this NC State team. So let's get to know the 2023 NC State Wolfpack. It all starts with their head coach, Dave Doran. Last year marked a decade for him with the Wolfpack. They made their 7th bowl appearance during that stretch and climbed into the AP Top 10 poll for the first time since 2002. This offense, though, it's going to look different this year. Robert Anai came over as the offensive coordinator, teams up with his old player, transfer quarterback Brennan Armstrong. The pair spent 3 seasons together at Virginia. And then how about the defense? They lost some big stars, but they did get Peyton Wilson back. And they happened to have a big win last year over their in-state rivals.
The margin for error is pretty small. You know, and I told the team going into this, we're going to have to play really complimentary football, everything we can to get ready for our rivalry.
Finley back to throw, looking down the sideline, back shoulders, caught into the end zone. Devin Carter, touchdown, NC State. What a throw by Finley in his first start. 30-27. North Carolina needs a field goal to tie. Burnett to send it to a third overtime. And he missed it. NC State wins.
What a game. NC State comes in and pulls off the upset and gets a huge win in this rivalry.
Thankful to have this W with them. It's going to be a great night. Turn the red light on, Chancellor Woodson. Go back.
Light it red when they win, and that was a big one. They did light it red after that one. NC State has had some big wins under their head coach, Dave Doran. There's Memorial Bell Tower. And here is their head coach, Dave Doran. You want to get on his good side for this interview, you play that before he comes and sits down. You get him smiling, you get him happy, and you talk about those big wins, Coach. I know that's exciting, but fall camp is exciting, too. What's it been like so far?
That was exciting to see that again.
You're welcome. I said, can they play that so you see it?
I appreciate that. Yeah, it was a great night. Yeah, it's awesome to be coaching football again. Yeah, the off seasons have changed a lot as a head coach with fundraising and things like that. So never been in that mode as much as I've been. So when they said, Coach, I got to turn my phone off, put it in my locker, come out here and put a whistle around my neck, and it's awesome. I'm really excited about this team.
Coach, you're going into season 11 here, fall camp. I always had rituals of clothes I would wear or things of that nature because it's a grind. Do you have anything quite like that?
Yeah, well, hey, grind right here. This is the 11-year-old shirt, you know.
Oh, wow.
Since first year I got here. But, yeah, fall camp is, you know, every year, for me, one of my favorite times. I know for a player it's not, but the distractions are as few as you can have, you know, with your players. They don't have academics for the first, you know, 3/4 of camp, and so you can really get into the fundamentals and talk about the chemistry, let players get up and spill their hearts in front of their teammates, and just build some of the really necessary glue that helps you win games like that. You know, I think that's what made the last year's team so fun. They had so much adversity at the quarterback position. We just found ways to win.
Coach, what are the things that you want to get accomplished during camp? Obviously, you want to stay healthy, but what do you want to get done to set you up for week 1 going into the year?
You know, there's lots of things. For a coach, you want to figure out who your first 11 are that are playing, and then who are the next 11. You know, you got to really figure out your depth chart in fall camp. And for the players, you want to give them opportunities to be ready to play a game and build their confidence up, you know, work on the little things, improve, you know, day to day. For us, we call it our one more, but just find one part of your game that you can make better. 21 practices, 21 times. But so many players, I think, make a play in practice that just springboards their career, like their confidence just all of a sudden, man, I made that play, you know? And so you got to give them those chances to do that.
We made it all the way down the line without asking you about your new offensive coordinator and your quarterback yet. You should probably just say that, like, at this point in the year, like, you should get a bonus every time you have to answer a question about them. But now that you've seen him at fall camp, I know you got to see him a lot in the off season. Are there any things that you've seen from him, any, like, wow moments where you're like, got you really excited?
Well, for Brennan, it was actually in spring ball. We ran a read play, and the guy took off. It was like an 80-yard touchdown run. And I knew he was an athletic dude. I didn't know he could run like that. You know, I mean, it was 20 miles an hour on our GPS, so that was different, you know, to see that. We haven't had a quarterback at NC State since I've been here that had that kind of speed. And so, not that we're going to run him all the time, but now the option's real. And, you know, when he pulls the ball, it's not 4 or 5 yards and then dive on the ground. Like, he's tough now, physical guy. When it comes to the field, you know, just having a guy that knows the offense the way he does. He has backstories with Coach and I and Coach 2J, so when players ask questions, it's not just what he learned in the meeting room. It's in these 4 games or this game or this play. He can really detail it out from a player's point of view.
Coach, on the defensive side, Coach Gibson is just, I mean, he's a genius. He really is. And you said for many years the creativity, the exotic looks, the things that you guys do defensively is such a hard prep. We got to sit down with him, and you'll see that here in a second. But he's such a great teacher.
Yeah.
How does he do that? Is he just super relatable to the men? I mean, what does he do that makes him such a great coach?
Well, he's just a real guy, you know. I mean, I think there's nothing fake about Tony. He is who he is. He's proud of his heritage. Super tough, came up the hard way, treats people with great respect, and that's why he gets it, you know, because he really treats people like gold. And he's hard on people, you know. He demands a lot, and he gives a lot in return. With the defense, he's been running the system forever, so he knows everything that you can do to him, and so he's got the answer before you've got the answer, you know. He's like, all right, they're going to do this to me. So he's always coaching one step ahead. And kind of setting up blitzes as the season goes. Like, all right, we're doing this, the next one. So the Rolodex, it's pretty interesting how he does that. Yeah.
Well, if there's nothing fake to him and he treats people well, I feel like it jives exactly with what you want, because that's exactly how you are. You've had some great defensive lines here at NC State. This defensive line's got a shot to be really, really good.
Agree.
You know, Savion Jackson has been banged up. C.J. Clark got banged up last year. Davin Van is the lead. But what makes you most excited about this defensive line?
Yeah, those 3 guys are tough. I mean, they can run. They're physical. They're strong. They're big. You know, we have a saying here, I'll probably get in trouble for it, but mass kicks ass, you know.
Coach Rick says that word all the time. You're good. You're good.
You like having that on your defensive line, and these guys are mean dudes, you know. They're not happy when they're playing football. They're trying to intimidate and get after people. And then Trevally Price, a young guy that's really come on. We look at him as a starter as well, like the way that guy can play. And then we've got some new additions that transferred in here, Red Hibbler, Noah Potter, 2 guys that we think can help us, and then a young guy, Brandon Cleveland, who's really come on. He's gained 30 pounds and he's really playing well.
Coach, the secondary, I think, has a chance to be very special. I know you lost Tanner Engel and Baker Williams, these guys, but the 2 corners, it just feels like you can put them on an island and worry about the middle. How much confidence does that give you, Coach Gibson, that you can trust those guys?
Well, it allows Coach Gibson to blitz more if he wants to, right? So he's not worried about protecting those guys as much as he might have been in the past. Not that we won't still play zone defense, we will. But if he wants to dial it up, he can do that. And some of our safeties can really play man, you know. So Tanner was a phenomenal football player here, a great hitter, you know, did a lot of things in our program. But man-to-man wasn't always what he wanted to be doing, right? And so some of our guys now add a different element to what we can do in the back end where they can cover slots and bring corners and have them cover outside receivers and things like that.
Flipping back to the offense, a lot of the questions around the team are who emerges at the receiver position.
Yeah.
Who are some of those guys that you've seen both in spring and in fall camp that have impressed you?
Well, Keon Lassane returns as our lead playmaker outside. Julian Gray was our kickoff returner, is the fastest player on our team, and he's had a good camp so far. So we look, you know, those two guys outside for sure. Porter Rooks has been here behind Thayer Thomas for a long time. It's his time to step up. And then we got a couple young guys, you know, in the program. Jalen Coit has done a really good job in fall camp. KC Conception, a brand new freshman that's kind of lighting it up right now for us. Juice, Javante Vereen, another guy. It's kind of a hybrid. So that is the position of question for me too. Like, I want to know who we can count on to make plays, and this is a huge, huge window of time for that group.
Coach, I can't believe that Roddy didn't ask about the run game, being a former running back.
I know, I'm disappointed myself.
It seemed like a layup. I know that's important to you,
Yeah.
and I know that you know, just physical dominance, physicality is something that you really, you know, push, you know, for your football team. How do you get back to that? How do you continue to push that and be a priority?
Well, I think, you know, it hurts my heart when we're not good in that area, and it's not rushing for 200 yards in a game. It's more about yards per carry and short yardage run game for me, goal line run game. When you want to run the ball, you need to be able to run the ball, you know. And I've always said that, you know, you throw to score, you run to win. And that's kind of the philosophy that I've lived in, and trying to be balanced. And getting back to that would be great this year. I know that's part of what Coach 2J's beating his head up against the wall with these guys right now, trying to get them into that mode.
Coach, before we let you go, you said that's an 11-year-old shirt that comes out. Does it just stay out for camp and then it goes back in and retires, or we see it throughout the year? Like, what are we going to do with it?
Oh, I don't know. I don't have a plan. I just saw it today, and I'm like, you know what? I think I'm going to break it out today. It kind of feels like a grind day to me.
I like it.
I need to know the laundry routine to keep it looking that nice.
For 11 years?
Yeah, it's crazy. It's absurd.
I'm sure. Ask your wife.
No, this is country and smoke. You
Country.
know,
We'll talk to country. That's
those
it.
guys in the
We'll talk to
There you
country.
go. There you go. Coach, we appreciate the time and the access. Looking forward to talking to your players throughout this practice and see
All
what
right.
you guys do this year.
Thanks for having me. Go Pack.
All right, more to get to here on our ACC Football Road Trip. What is this? Well, it is an actual ring size for Eric Macklin. They have it in the Tally Student Union on campus. When we come back, we'll dive into the Wolfpack's new QB1.
Pack Nation, Brennan Armstrong, NC State quarterback. Go Pack.
Welcome back to our ACC Network Football Road Trip. We are in Raleigh today, and Wolfpack fans, they definitely remember this name, Russell Wilson, one of the most prolific rushing quarterbacks in NC State history, but the most prolific, as it stands right now, Jacoby Brissett at the top of the list for the Wolfpack, getting it done on the ground. There's another dual quarterback in town, though, dual threat quarterback, and that's Brennan Armstrong. Rushed for over 1,200 yards at Virginia, including a 552-yard season on the ground in 2020. Brennan Armstrong with us now here at NC State.
Yeah.
Ready to run it back and do it again in a new uniform fall camp. How's this one feel different?
I think it's just bittersweet, knowing it's my last one. Yeah, just knowing it's my last one, it's just crazy. You know, me being in college for 6 years now, like, I thought it was going to be over a couple years ago, and then it's not, and I'm here again. So I'm just taking it all in and just enjoying the time. I mean, like, you hear a lot of the stories. People come back and they're like, enjoy that time, because it's not the same once you get out of it, even in the NFL. Like, it's just not the same as college ball. So I'm just enjoying it with the guys right now. I really am.
How about the adjustment of just being here? I mean, it was funny at media day. You walk up and do the Wolfpack. I'm like, that was weird.
Yeah.
And you're like, yeah, it kind of was, but I like it. I like it. So just your adjustment to Raleigh and this team.
It was quick. I mean, once I I got settled into like just living and just getting my routine down, I mean, I was just hitting the ground running. Like I think I said earlier, like just coming out here and working hard. I think that's what this culture is built on. So I just kept my mouth shut, worked hard, tried to gain everyone's trust, and then we've built into everything else. Yeah.
A lot's been made about you reuniting with your offensive coordinator, former offensive coordinator Robert and I. What's your favorite thing about this offense that brought you back to reunite with him? I
just feel free in it. I mean, obviously I know it. So that's another feeling that's great for me as a quarterback, for any quarterback. But just how things are called, when things are called, what I understand what to do in certain situations. I just feel freer in it. I can feel like I'm more confident, able to play be myself out there on the field, and it's just the best feeling as a quarterback when you have that that trust in your OC, but he also has that trust in you to go out there and do your thing.
How has that helped you from a leadership, team building, chemistry role? Because you are the new guy, but you're the new old guy that has been with this coordinator before. So it's kind of a different language to everybody else, but you can help maybe decipher that for the guys? Yeah, so I mean, like, easy communication right off the get with the guys was just talking about the offense. So that's just how we started connecting. And then once we stopped talking about the offense, we obviously got to know each other. But communication, understanding, being an open door for them, like just having them come up to me and ask questions. It was good for me to get back into it. And if they ask questions, I can get my mind rolling again. Not that the year made me forget it all. I didn't forget barely any of it. But just get your mind, get back into that mode of the offense, and the questions they come up with to ask me. Hopefully builds trust between us two, and then just helps me stay in tune with the offense.
There's one word to describe your play for people who've watched the last 3 or 4 years. I think it's competitor. You see it come out on the field. Where's that come from, Brendan? Where does that competitive nature come from? I mean, I grew up around sports. Grew up playing, playing a lot of baseball, and it was a lot of high-level baseball. Yeah. So you had to be competitive. If you weren't, you were going to get run out. You were gone. You weren't going to be playing that no more. So that, obviously my parents put me in certain things to build that. I think I was just born with it too. I guess Coach Rope here now, Coach QBs, there's times where quarterbacks got to understand when to stop competing because it can hurt you sometimes. You always want to make that play. So that's something I'm also, taking into consideration with just how I'm playing too. I know when to stop competing, but I mean, most of the time that's hard to turn off. Yeah, it's hard to turn off.
You told us at Media Day you were going to get fired up at camp. Have you done it yet?
A little bit, yeah.
A little bit.
Yeah.
Maybe today. Maybe we'll see it today.
We're practice 5 now, so they've seen it once or twice. I think Coach Rupp actually told me to calm down. So yeah, we're just being myself.
That's right.
Yeah. Do us a favor, don't calm down today, because we'll have cameras on you all throughout the day. Brendan, it's great to see you. We're excited for another year of you and the ACC, and can't wait to see what you guys do this year. Have fun at practice.
I will. Appreciate y'all.
So, guys, when you take a look at this, it's something that I feel like we've already talked a lot about. Brendan Armstrong, he's been 2 different players with and without Robert Anae as his offensive coordinator. See what he did in his career at Virginia with Anae. 20 starts through 51 touchdowns, just 23 interceptions. 10 starts without Anae recorded. More interceptions than touchdown passes. Obviously, a lot of factors went into that last season. But one of the main factors that we're excited to see is these two back together. What can Brendan Armstrong and Robert Anae do here at NC State? So, Emac, let's start with that. What can they do here at NC State? Why are we so excited?
Yeah, I think it's going to be something special. When you see a reunion like this where there was so much success, especially in that last season, 2021 there, nearly 4,500 yards. I mean, that's lighting it up, right? Best in the country, right at the top. And then there was even a couple games he didn't play, so it could have even been better. He's such a versatile piece, such a good weapon. I think that's really going to help unlock this NC State offense. The key piece that I'm interested in is what we were kind of just talking with him before, running the football. How much is he going to be able to do that? How much is this offense going to be able to do that? Because that's got to be a piece, Roddy. You know better than anybody. When everyone knows you're running, it's great. When everyone knows you're passing, you're one-dimensional. So how can you balance it out? How can you do both?
Yeah, and I think they'll find creative ways to do it. But this offense under Robert Anae, we've seen it at Syracuse and at Virginia, where they've kind of used the short passing game as almost a supplement to the run game. And that's when this offense is clicking the most. This is where Brendan Armstrong has been the most comfortable, when he's in rhythm, delivering the ball, short, quick passes, getting it out, especially on early downs. And so that part of it is where I think the marriage is going to work the best. Brendan Armstrong is going to be able to do that from day one, and Robert Anae is going to get Brendan Armstrong back in a place where he is comfortable and where he can operate really well.
He's going to have a better offensive line. These guys are going to protect protect him well, get out in space. But the question mark's going to be who steps up at wide receiver. At UVA, he had some guys, man, some really talented wide receivers. And I think that's here on this team. When we're walking around, we see these body types. It looks like it's there, but just can you take that next step? Instead of potential production, I think they're going to get the most out of him.
Well, and I'm sure for you guys, it's not just who steps up at wide receiver, but how is he going to use these players?
Right.
We saw him do it at Virginia, and then you saw him do it as well. Try to do it some at Syracuse with Oronde Gadsden and some of the players that they had there. So the puzzle pieces that they have here, Roddy, what do you think?
Well, I look at that name at the bottom, Jelani Woods.
Yeah.
Remember the player that he was for Virginia? Massive, a tight end, but he moved around all over the place. Who was the leading receiver for Syracuse last year? Oronde Gadsden, a quote tight end who played a lot as a receiver, but is considered a tight end. I think Trent Penix could be that guy for NC State. He is a versatile piece, a guy that played running back early in his career, was really banged up with his shoulders a year ago. But if he's healthy, like that's sort of the chess piece that I think Robert and I could really use.
And that's the biggest thing. Can he stay healthy?
Yeah.
But such a versatile weapon, the things that he can do. I would love to see him in that Keaton Thompson role, Oronde Gadsden, where he's moving all over the place. You never know where he's going to line up and how much is that a weapon for them? What things can they do? I think the creativity that we see with motions, alignment, packages, having two tight ends, no running back, we're going to see some stuff of that nature. Seeing all of those type of things, creativity is going to be the key.
Let's look at some of those, Roddy, because starting with you, and I loved the excitement that you got when you were picking out these plays. When you watch some of what he does, I mean, any coach that coaches against him is just like, this is crazy.
Yeah, because it's personnel, it's formations, it's shifts, it's everything. On this play right here, they use motion on the outside to create confusion. Oronde Gadsden wide open in the end zone, but Oronde Gadsden, that tight end, is in the slot. You get the motion inside of him. There's miscommunication on the back end. And then an empty formation, no running backs on the field, two tight ends, motion across, gets movement from the linebackers, and it's Jelani Woods right up the seam. That a two tight end formation. This one, Oronde Gadsden lines up in the backfield. Again, the tight end. It's a motion with a real route up the sideline, and Gadsden's wide open in the corner of the end zone. It's three tight end catches, but it's three examples of different ways to use formations, personnel, motions to create confusion on the defense. And that, I think, is something that this NC State team will really benefit from because they are a little unproven at receiver. But if you can get some guys open with formations and shifts and motions, then, man, you're doing a great job.
Confidence starts building very quickly. And what you saw there, it wasn't these complex routes with multi-stems and breaks and all that stuff. It was, hey, run straight. All the alignment, all the motion. We're going to trick the eyes of the defense. We'll handle that. You just catch the ball when you get it. And rhythm. And so what I'm interested in to see with Coach Anai is just how much of that creativity can he have with these guys. And when you talk to Coach Dorn, which we will, or have, when you see his excitement about why he brought Robert Anai here, he said, hey, look, I went against him a couple of times. I didn't like doing it. All my coaches have played against him or with him. I want that creativity here. And so I think it's just, again, one of those things where they had it defensively, now they have it offensively. NC State's going to be one of the hardest teams to prepare for.
And what did Robert and I tell us yesterday in the hallway? Creative excitement. Creative excitement is what this offense is all about. So ideas come from everywhere. They've come from GAs, they've come from support staff, they come from Anai, and they're going to be instituted on a weekend.
He makes it challenging for opposing defensive coordinators, no doubt. But it's interesting because you've also heard Tony Gibson talk about it in the coming weeks, the weeks past, and he says these practices are different because we never know what they're doing. And speaking of Tony Gibson in this defense, man, they have been stellar. You guys mentioned it. Some new faces for sure. They lost some key pieces, but they've got some dogs coming back, and they were the top dogs on defense last year. Our guys sit down with the mastermind himself to break down some film. Plus, NC State is no stranger to hardware on the defensive side of the ball. Could Peyton Wilson mirror Bradley Chubb's historic season? We chat with the linebacker when we come back here on ACC Network's Football Road Trip.
What's up? Peyton Wilson, linebacker at NC State. Go Pack.
The last first day. Appreciate you, Coach. Love you more. Hey, pro reps, NFL reps right now. NFL reps. Oh. Hey, energy. Helmets on, chin straps on. Here we go. Ready? Ready. God bless America. Physical. Nice. That's it right there, AB. Whoa! Whoa! Strike! Like your life depends on it. Hey, get set! Get set! Great job, boys! Great job, Tim! O-line leads the way, all the way, and then some. You guys are all the way and then some. Is that too tricky?
Nah, Coach, nothing's too tricky.
That's
These guys
amazing.
know what you're talking about. Shout out to NC State for getting us that wired up sound with Coach 2J, because that was really good stuff. Love these coaches here. They've got such a great staff. And it's kind of like a family reunion for a lot of these coaches coming back, because you've got Coach 2J, you've got Coach Robert and I, of course, you've got Brendan Armstrong, who are all together at Virginia. Now they are here. But one familiar face that they have on the defensive side this season is their defensive coordinator, Tony Gibson, the man who does so much for this defense and for the players. He broke down his defense with you guys, Emac and Roddy. Take a look.
All right, Coach, we got you in here today. Appreciate you joining us. We have a couple of plays here. And, you know, offensive lineman, I want to see pressures. I want to see some exotic stuff. So we're going to start with what I call a cross dog right here. Just walk us through kind of principles, what guys are supposed to be doing.
Yep. All right, so very basic blitz for us. So starting with our D-line first. We can see C.J. Clark, number 5 here. He is a rip-contained player, so he's the edge of our defense to the field. Davin Van, all right, he's
War Daddy, by the way.
Yes.
Both those dudes. Both those dudes.
So Davin Van is a rip-contained player to the boundary. And then our inside guy right here, Corey Durden, all right, he is going to go opposite of where our pressure's coming from. We're just a field pressure cross dog, all right? The key for us is we want to try to isolate and put all the heat right here on 61. Make him make a decision, read the protection, and as you'll see in this clip, Drake does a great job of reading 55. They're going to slide protect, and they're going to slide it to the field. And he's going to cross it, and it opens up. When it opens up, Isaiah, is going to come through the B gap here.
Well, let's see this blitz package here. And again, when you go through it and watch Peyton, how do you coach that when he triggers? If you could just show.
Yeah, what he has to do, he has to eye his back right now. All eyes on the back, and you'll see him. He'll just shuffle patient. Let it clear. Once he sees that back in protection, all right, and make contact with Drake or Isaiah, now he goes.
Mm-hmm. With you mentioned the job that Drake does getting to the opposite shoulder of that center, and show us how that precision, where does that come from that he can operate, especially from depth like that?
Yeah, what he does here, and Isaiah wants to take it, so he's going to go first. You can see him starting to creep the line of scrimmage. Mm-hmm. So he's going to go right now, and we're going to try to get 61 turned to open this A-gap up for Drake. Once he reads that, all his eyes at that point, Drake's eyes are going right here to 55. Once he steps, it's over with. We're crossing it right now.
It's a thing of beauty when you do it right.
Yeah, this is a masterpiece here. The boys executed well. And watch Peyton, as soon as he knows, because Drake's job right now, once that back blocks him, we want to grab.
Yep.
We want to bury the back because we know now we've got him.
That's good insight right there.
And when your guys trigger downhill, when Peyton decides to come, there are bad intentions in his mind, and that is a beautiful thing for a defensive coordinator.
This next one for me gives me nightmares because there's nothing you can do. You just have more numbers than we do. I mean, you got 6 up at the line of scrimmage. We've only got 5 blockers. I mean, your intent, and what you'll see here is you let it keep going. 32 and 1 are not blitzing. Is that on purpose, or do they see, hey, we got our guy, we did our job?
So what this is an empty check for us. Mm-hmm. Anytime anybody gives us empty, we have 3 different ways to attack them and feel like we can get a guy home clean. Okay, and you said it. They have 5, we have 6. Mm-hmm. So if we just hit every gap, all right, somebody's coming clean. Mm-hmm. Obviously, the thing you have to be careful about here, okay, obviously we have 6 up. All right, well, we've got 5 on 5. This is an empty formation. Right. So everybody's in 0 coverage. Big, we have to be aware of screen. So what this blitz is we're going to, again, read protection. So most offensive linemen, Eric, you know this well, what are they going to do? They got to slide this one way or the other, and now they're telling the quarterback, you got to throw hot off the end guy, whoever we're letting clean, come clean here. So in this picture, they're going to slide it to Drake, and they let Peyton get clean off the edge. Now, as Drake reads the slide to him, well, Drake knows he's not getting home.
Right.
So we're going to stick our foot right here, and now we're going back to play the screen game. Isaiah's reading. If it's slide at him, okay, which
they've done a
is,
job. Even without a pass rush, he's done his job already. He's created the slide.
He's created the slide. We're reading it. He's popping for screen. So now we have 2 extra screen players, and really, when you stop it, we've got 4 rushers.
Right.
Have to be able to trust this blitz.
Right.
Okay.
Man.
We know that we're getting home. All right. We're going to affect that quarterback. We're going to create a quick throw. We don't ever want to press it to give that quarterback the easy throw down the field. So if we play off what we're saying, if you catch a hitch, tackle the hitch.
Decision to go with that on 1st and 10. When do you decide, yay, 1st and 10, let's heat them up?
Always.
Let's go.
I told you this before, I think. When we go to Vegas, we don't play $5 blackjack.
That's true.
Right?
You have.
We're going all in.
Oh, you're the best, man. This was awesome. Thank you for the insight. Excited to be with y'all for the rest of the day.
Yeah, thank you guys. Appreciate it,
Coach.
Good stuff, guys, with Coach Gibson. Always good to get to sit down one-on-one with him. Now, the Wolfpack tied Louisville for the top scoring defense in the ACC last season, allowing under 20 points per game. They picked off the most passes in the league while ranking 2nd in yards allowed per game and opponents' 3rd down conversion percentage. We got one of the main guys here with us now, Peyton Wilson, who I know Wolfpack fans are excited to be back. And he was running over y'all. He's not taking any time off, no plays off, because he knows what he's here for this season. What's your mindset even this early in fall camp?
Yeah, I mean, just super excited. You know, we lost some guys on the defense, so we're out here trying to just fly around, trying to fit some holes, but super excited. We're flying around, we're fast, we're physical, and we can't wait for 24 more days so we can actually play a different opponent.
You're 6 for you. How does the feeling coming into this camp differ from the feeling that you got and the excitement that you got going into your first camp?
Yeah, I think it's just, you know, instead of like coming in as a freshman, you know, you're taking it all in. The game is fast. I mean, being here this long, it's just so slow now. And, you know, I've kind of enjoy helping the younger guys now. As usually in the past, you know, I'm worried about getting myself better, getting the guys that are on the field with me better. But now I'm in the film room with the younger guys, and it's just cool to have that like coaching aspect of it now, like the more mature aspect to where I'm bringing younger guys with me and just seeing them grow really excites me.
I'm interested in that mindset that you kind of mentioned right before that, where you get tired of hitting your own guys. Yeah. Offensively, I hate it. I'm like, here I go. I got to pull again and hit Peyton. Here we go. Can't wait. And he knows I'm pulling. Yeah. Is it draining for you too? You're like, I hate this. This is so boring.
I mean, at the beginning, you know, it's always fun the first few days, but then after like the 7th day of rushing against Anthony Belton, it's like, oh, here we go. You know, 6'7", 340 pounds, but you know, just getting better each day. But you know, can't wait to get out there against a different opponent. And we're super excited to show everybody what we got, because I mean, compared to last year with all the hype and stuff, we're back to where we are, and we're just ready to be the underdog and go out there and whoop tail. So
let's talk about what you guys do have, and it's hard to say underdog with this team when you have this defense year after year, but you lost some of your running mates, some of your guys that we talked about a lot in that linebacking core. What have you seen from some of the guys that are going to fill those holes?
Yeah, kind of like I said at the ACC kickoff that we had, you know, I was super excited for Jay Scott, for Devon Betty and Caden Fordham, and they've been nothing but exceptional. You know, it's like no fall off, no drop off. If anything, we've gotten better, we've gotten faster, and Coach Gibson's so good at just knowing what he has and knowing how to use people and just using their strengths instead of their weaknesses. And it's just, I mean, when you're out there watching us, you can't even tell the difference. It's that same physical, fast defense that you see every single year.
You mentioned the hype coming into last year. You guys were talked about a lot, and you lived up to it. This year's a little bit different, but the standard has been set. How have you used the fact that people are going to overlook this defense? People aren't going to talk about the defensive line. People aren't going to talk about the guys next to you. How have you guys used that in fall camp?
Yeah, I think a lot of that just credit to Coach Doran and, you know, the standard and the mentality that he puts into us. You know, yeah, we see all of it, but at the end of the day, it's social media, it's media, you know, that we got to win games, you know, no matter how much hype, no matter how much you don't have any hype. At the end of the day, it's about winning every single game, and we have a next game mentality. So we're looking for that first game, and then after that one, we're going on to that next one, and we're not looking ahead, and we're not looking back. So,
Peyton, how have you taken on the leadership role that you kind of have to now? You know, with the three of y'all last year was amazing. You could kind of spread the wealth, spread the love, the knowledge, the leadership. But now it is kind of all you from that three-headed monster a year ago. How has that been for you?
At first, I was a little nervous. You know, I'm kind of I'm from a country area where you kind of just stay to yourself, you know, and people do what they're supposed to do, and if you don't, you just kind of get knocked out. But, I mean, it's been awesome for me. It's got me out of my comfort zone. It's honestly, outside of football, it's made me a better person. I don't have problems with public speaking anymore, and it's just, I mean, it's just, I learned something new about myself, and I would have never known that unless I came back for this year and really got out of that comfort zone, you know? So I've really enjoyed it, and it's super exciting.
Well, you're a heck of an interview, too. You're a great player and someone that we have really loved to just kind of see your journey. And you've battled through so much adversity to get to where you are now. I know you touched on it a little bit, but can you try to just tell us what this opportunity, this last year here, NC State means to you?
Yeah, I mean, it's all or nothing, you know? This is the last ride, and I mean, I'm going at it full speed, at the hardest I've ever went and as fast as I've ever went, and, you know, I'm going to leave it all out there every play like I do every year. But, I mean, this year, not a little more, but it's going to be there, you know, just knowing it's my last one. I want to make every play the best play, I play every play like it's my last. So just with that mentality, that's just the way I go out there every day, every practice, and every Saturday as well.
How about Coach Gibson? What does he mean to you? I mean, a guy that you've been with for so long now.
Yeah. I mean, when he first got here, I was a completely different human. You know, I wasn't in this leadership role. I was complete opposite. You know, I was the one causing problems and stuff like that. And he honestly, kind of saved my life, you know, just coming in and, you know, just talking to me man to man, like, look, man, like, you have it, you're just hurting yourself. And just the way that he coaches and the energy that he brings, I mean, it's unreal. If you can't go out here and give it all for him, then you're in the wrong sport, because it's 100% positive that he loves this game and he's in it for us. And I mean, he's not in it for any bad reason. You know, he really loves this game. He loves coaching. He loves fall camp. I mean, just the love and the energy that he brings, there's no way that you can't play hard for that guy.
He is someone that I think you guys learn so much from day to day. We always learn from when we get to talk to him, and I know you guys had a good time hanging out with him yesterday.
Right.
Can't wait to see what you do this season. Excited for your last year here, and hurry, you got to get back to practice. I know you might as well run out of here. We got to get him. We got to get him on mic, you guys. He's got to go. We can't waste any time. Peyton, we appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, mention that defense and what Peyton was able to do throughout his career so far. And you take a look at the numbers, at least 15 tackles for loss and passes defended, one of two players leaving the ACC last year. Pretty impressive stuff from Peyton Wilson. He's sprinting off, y'all. He's not wasting any time. You talk about like what freshmen were like and they're running around. Nah, he's not taking any time off because he knows what is on the line for NC State in his last year. We'll have more some ACC football kickoff from our road show, right here live from NC State all morning long.
Norm from NC State, go Pack.
3 weeks at Virginia Tech, at Florida State, and at Clemson. But as mentioned, right now, this is where we are. Carter Finley Stadium looking nice, and the famous sculptures there created by Dick Idle. He was an artist who played cornerback for the Pack. Did you guys know that? The more
I knew it right now.
know. And that is a great place if you want to howl at the moon, as we did earlier. Guys, let's talk a little bit more of this defense, because we got to talk with Peyton Wilson, but we haven't gotten to really dive into y'all's thoughts on this defense, because EMAC, it does look different. There are so many guys that have been just staples in this defense for so long that are no longer here. What are your expectations for them?
I think it's picking up right where they left off, honestly. And it's crazy to think about that, you know, and talking with Peyton Wilson and hearing his thoughts about how they're faster. You brought that up. But I think that's justified. And I know no NC State fan listening wants to hear this, but I kind of compare it to when Clemson, Jamie Skowski left. Great player, all ACC caliber player, but they got faster once he left. And you saw what those linebackers were able to do. I think we're really going to see that. The defensive line, though, Roddy, is very interesting to me.
I think the defensive line is fascinating. It's got a chance to be one of the best, if not the best in the league. Certainly people at Clemson and Florida State are going to have something to say about that. Pittsburgh as well. But this defensive line has a chance to be great. Davin Vann returns from last year where he had a great season a year ago. They have talked about how much better he has gotten. Savion Jackson is a name that we have heard over and over and over since we've been here. Big-time recruit. Has been banged up. He looks fantastic. And if he has the type of season that we think they can have, then I think this defense could really be special. And I think it plays well, EMAC. They'll be faster at linebacker. So if they're really stout on the defensive line and can take up those blocks, can occupy double teams, and penetrate in the backfield, I think this linebacking core will be able to do what it's going to do best, which is go sideline to sideline.
Yeah, and just production at an all-time high. I'm very excited about those corners with Shaheem Battle and Aiden White there. Just their ability to lock guys up, and you heard Coach say it, that gives us the ability to blitz more. You know who loves that? Tony Gibson. He said, okay, dial it up. Here we go. I'm good on the outside. I don't have to worry about that. And so when you have the faster guys, you have different chess pieces. It just makes you very unique hard to stop. And Kelsey, I think that's what's going to play into their favor to being, again, a top 3 defense in the ACC.
And you said again, and that is the key word, because every year they seem to reload. And as you guys mentioned, yes, they've lost some of those familiar faces, but there's so much talent coming back to this team. Let's take a look at their schedule and what they have coming, because they're starting on the road at UConn, and then week 2 is going to be a big noon game on ABC right here at Carter Finley Stadium against Notre Dame. Roddy, what do we think about the start that they have?
I think the start is manageable. Obviously, going to UConn. UConn was a bowl team last year, so let's not forget about that. But it's sort of a bring your own atmosphere type of game. But then Notre Dame here on September 9th. Last time they played here was the Hurricane game. Getting that game early on is really going to test you. But late in the season, Emac, that's where I think this NC State team is really going to have to go. After the bye week, start with Clemson, and then that last stretch. It's tough, man. It is a tough way to finish the year.
Yeah, and I mean, for me, I look at it kind of from a fan perspective and the energy perspective. Those home games are insane. I mean, hey,
Not to mention, they've got a massive new scoreboard now.
Right.
They did the lights last year,
Right.
and they've got a new sound system.
So, Boo, if you're watching, I hope you jack the
Shout
prices
out.
up, man.
Shout
You
out.
got your money's worth for this schedule, because it's nuts, and that's what you need, right? So all those additions that you just said, that the just prominence of who's coming to town, that's going to be a tough place to play. Carter Finley, I always said, man, was one of the toughest in the ACC. You add in all this new stuff, you add in the schedule, and people have something to really cheer for, but they're going to have to bring their lunch. As you mentioned, that finish is no joke, and you just hope, okay, this new team, new system is primed and ready, so November, that's when they remember how you finished, and I think they can do that. And
not just a new team, a new system, but also new in the ACC, because we have no more divisions, and that's something that's going to be really exciting for this team as well, Roddy.
Yeah, it will be. The fact that you play Clemson, Carolina, and Duke every single year, from a ease of schedule standpoint with what Carolina and Duke are right now, and obviously what Clemson's been for the last decade, it's not the easiest group of. Look, NC State's not going to want it any other way. They want the Tigers, and they've played them pretty well. They want Carolina, and obviously they want Duke, a team that they had not seen a lot in the other arrangement where they were at Atlantic and Coastal League.
And what's fascinating is Coach Doran, we talked to him about this at Media Day, and he said, I love it. I've been stuck with FSU and Clemson, and we had no shot, and now it's open season. You just have to be the second best team, which he said we were that a couple of times, and we were left out when you look at the ACC record. So he's excited about having no divisions, as am I, man. I want the 2 best teams, whoever it is, to represent our conference, and I want a shot at playoff, maybe 2 guys in the playoff.
You know what I liked? I liked a lot about what we heard today, but I think it was Peyton that sat down and was like, 24 days. Like, exactly, the countdown is on. We are getting closer and closer.
He could tell us the hour, minutes, seconds probably, too.
Probably, especially if he's like running through them, because he's counting them down in his head. He always got that clock going. Anyways, when we come back for one last segment from Raleigh, but right now you're looking at the Free Expression Tunnel on campus. On this other side of this break, though, we dive into the question, why are offensive linemen so gross? Emac, defend yourself.
What's your biggest football ick?
What's the ick? Is that like pet peeve, like kind of? When the O-linemen hold. Linemen that let their stomach hang. Look at them. O-line still going off after the whistle. They like to put their hands all over you after the whistle. I don't like that.
O-lineman who got their shirt tucked out. Sweaty O-lineman touching me in the huddle. That's nasty.
Emac, defend yourself. Defend your offensive linemen.
We're gross at times, I understand. But we got to be gross at times, all right? You're in the
be down and
scuffles,
dirty,
you're
right?
down there in the huddles. I do get the sweaty part. Y'all don't want to be sweaty. But the belly thing, you got to tuck that away.
See,
right?
I think you got to own it, man.
Look good.
I think you go crop top.
There you go.
Now,
we'll do that next time.
I am on board with anybody who said the huddle and the sweat. They're not. You guys aren't the only ones that sweat, but there's more of you than everybody else, and you're bigger. So
bigger guys, you're trying to squeeze in there. Guess what? We don't want to touch you either.
Well,
okay?
this offensive line group for the Wolfpack is a good one, and they are an experienced one. When you take a look at what they have coming back this year, nearly all these guys have made a big impact on the field already, gotten collegiate starts, and doing good things for the Wolfpack, including their left tackle, Anthony Belton, who we have mic'd up.
Ah! Spinal! Right! Middle! Left! Middle! These knee braces is not it, sir. Help! Help! Help!
I guess. Ooh, oh. I am Groot. Worked out. Worked out. You too old for this song. Hey, me. Hey, lightning. Can I get a water? That's a big hit. Good job, Jackson. Good job. Money up. Hey, break it down.
Hold on two.
Hey, give us some motivation.
Play well on 2. 1, 2, 3.
Play well.
Good stuff from Anthony Belton, and we appreciate all the access from NC State. Always good to see these players behind the scenes and also up close and personal as we got to visit with Brennan Armstrong and Peyton Wilson today. Guys, got to watch a little bit of practice, trying to get out of here and watch some more. Emac, what's your big takeaway other than how quickly you're going to run over there?
Yeah, really. I mean, just the defense is big, right? And they're fast. And I thought that was really interesting when Peyton said that. Well, we got to go over there for a couple of periods and just to see the explosiveness, the length, the size that we did from those guys. They're going to be better defensively, and it's all across the board. It's not just a single position like maybe it has been in years past. You look at DB, linebacker, defensive line. I mean, it's impressive looking guys.
It really is. And Dave Doran told us they could be more versatile because of that secondary and their ability to play more man-to-man coverage at the safety position in particular. You're always going to have the ability to come up and make plays at the line of scrimmage. But if that versatility can come through, then the looks that we've seen from Tony Gibson over the past few seasons could get even more exotic. You could have more false tells to be able to throw offenses off even to a greater extent than we've seen in the past.
And it's just a personnel thing. Like if you got faster guys, more explosive guys, it's an open book on what you can do. He loves the blitz. Kelsey, we're going to see it a lot this year.
We've given Tony Gibson a lot of credit, as we should. We've talked a lot about this offense and offensive coordinator Robert Anai and all that he can do, the creativity. What I want to hit on a little bit more is the man who makes it all happen, and that's Coach Dave Doran, what he has built here, Roddy, his 11th season this year. It's just a standard that they have now at NC State and an expectation that they're going to bring it every single week.
Talk about culture so much, and when culture matches the feeling of a university, that's where magic happens. This is a blue-collar university. It's a blue-collar football team that's built off of development and built off of toughness. You know what you're going to get from an NC State team coached under Dave Doran, and that's why I'm not worried at all about this defense. The question is offensively, how great can they be? But Emac, if they're an offense that's in the top half of the league or maybe in the top quarter of the league, man, they could challenge at the top of this league.
Yeah, I don't see why there's any reason they won't, especially with the lack of divisions. But the biggest thing with Coach Doran is just consistency. Year in and year out, you know what you're going to get from him. And it's been 8-win season, 9-win season, all throughout
5 out of the last 6 years.
Minus that one, which it was just riddled with injury. So that's just what they do. They win. They get rewarded for it. You see these practice fields, the weight room, which I'm about to hit in a couple minutes here, the new Jumbotron sound system. I mean, the game day experience at NC State, because of everything they've done on the field, is only going to elevate, and you see the rewards from them.
And it's hard to think about it elevating because the game day experience here is already top notch from beginning to end. Know that this place is going to be rocking when they open the season here. Week 2, going to be an ABC game against Notre Dame. Meanwhile, we're about to wrap things up here from Raleigh and take it on the road for stop number 3 in Atlanta. As we check in with Georgia Tech, we'll see what Britt Key has going on. His first full year at the helm, of course, did great things taking over as interim head coach last year. Can't wait to see what they look like tomorrow. But guys, first, I got to take you back 365 days ago to the day. How did that happen?
I was here.
Grant Gibson, where are you? I'm glad you're not here because, oh man, taking that one to the face. You know, I like to say I'm an athlete. Never looked less athletic in my life, I don't think, than when that happened, you know?
But you got a chance.
And you actually got to finish the play because you just said, move it up, move 5 yards, she'll be fine.
Move up the drill.
No big
Move
deal.
up the drill.
We're okay. We're back, and we are ready to redeem ourselves.
Redeem team.
This is the redemption tour.
I got you.
Emac, if you hike it at my face as hard as Grant Gibson did,
here we go.
You were dead to me, and it's a long season. Ready? Hike. Ah!
Oh, no, you dropped it!
It was crooked. Do it again. Do it again. Do it again.
All right, we got another chance.
Roddy's
gone. We got one more chance here. Here we go.
Straight back, Emac. Yeah! Let's go. Glad that one didn't come back at my face. Guys, it has been a ton of fun. You know what? If at first you don't succeed,
try again.
Try again. The Wolf Pack do not have to do that because they have been succeeding. Were you pass rush over there?
Oh, yeah.
Trying to make me extra
score.
nervous? Don't
Scoop
do
and
that.
score.
Just because we're here with this defensive team,
Great
you do not
turnover.
have to do that. Guys, can't wait to see you tomorrow from Atlanta for stop number 3 on our ACC Football Road Trip. And then we will take it to Virginia Tech on Thursday. We'll take it to Clemson on Friday. And then guess what? Let's run it all back on Monday and start again at Virginia. 3 straight weeks of ACC football. We are coming to you from the practices. And we will see you tomorrow from Atlanta. For Roddy, for Eric, everybody behind the scenes.
No, we're out.
That was so short and sweet. Good job.